What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Tasty Tuesday on Tasty Loot Gaming, the show where we talk about gaming news. My name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And I'm Chris.
And a quick reminder, you don't have a whole lot of time. At the end of this week, we're going to be doing Plus Club, so make sure to play Invisible Ink. Make sure to play Stories. Highly recommended Stories. Check that one out at the very least. Come back Friday, we'll be talking about it. And, game of the month is still Witcher 3, but we've already talked about it on the prior Tasty Cast. Check that out if you want to hear what we have to say about it. Make sure to let us know what you think about it. And the game of the month for January of 2017 is Killing Floor 2. This one's exciting for me because it's a fun game, and I can hop into that game anytime and shoot some shit. So, not a huge investment, which is kind of nice. Hopefully you guys had a good holiday weekend, and this is our last Tasty Tuesday of 2016, I believe. So, it's been a good year. We've gotten a lot done, changed up a lot of shit, and I'm hoping for 2017 to be a year of growth. We're going to start trying to branch out a bit. But enough of all that shit. Let's get into the news.
Short and sweet. Dynasty Warriors 9 is announced. With the announcement, they've said, I believe it's during a live stream by Koei Tecmo, that this game will be open world and have 80 plus characters.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? I know we're all Dynasty Warriors fans. How do you feel about them going with the open world?
Oh, God.
I back the sentiment. I'm excited for Dynasty Warriors 9 regardless of any of the new information. I'd be excited for it no matter what. But them going open world makes sense. The maps are already so big that to be able to travel to these battlefields essentially would be really neat. 80 plus characters, as we were talked about, I guess in the prior games they've already done about 62, so it's not too crazy that they bump it up. That's still quite a fucking increase from 62 to 80 something. It's like 20 new characters. It's really really cool. I'm excited for this. I'm really excited to see what they do. If they're going to be changing up the way the game is played and different things like the nature of the game, open world, I want to know what they're going to be doing with the engine and changing that up a bit, because the game is good for what it is. It always has been. It's always fun. But if they can up the ante a bit and change the game without ruining the core concept too much, I'm excited for that.
I'm so excited. Oh, God, I'm so excited. A lot of people just say that these games are the same thing over and over and over again. And yeah, some of the core gameplay aspects are very similar in a lot of the games. But they always try to change it in every single one. There's always something new, something very slightly different, or major changes here and there. The last one, they added that kind of like a campaign mode where you started your own little village and you can go out and do quests and things like that. So them doing an open world concept just kind of seems like the next step in that process. Like they were testing it out, kind of.
Well, it's interesting too because the last game had that mode. The game before that had this weird map mode where if you beat this battle, you unlocked the areas touching it, and then you kind of branched out. So they've always kind of dabbled in these side game types almost. So
I'm curious whether that's going to replace like the main story mode though. Like if you pick say you pick Cao Cao, and then it'll tell you like go this way to complete a story or go this way to do side missions or things like that. Or if it's just going to be a side gameplay mode, which I'm kind of hoping it is. Like, because I really like going through the characters and playing their stories and learning their backgrounds again, and some of the newer characters learning their backgrounds and historical context.
Well, one of the things I read said that they are going to be representing all of China with the open world map. It's not going to be a one-to-one scale map, but it is going to represent all the regions of China. So what I'm going to assume is whatever character you pick and whatever army they're part of will be, in a certain corner of the map. Right. And their story will branch you out to different areas where the battles took place. And then when you play the other guys, you'll start in another section of the map and move from there. And then hopefully there is side quests. I mean, a game like that, if you're going to go open world, you need to have the benefit of an open world and have a reason to want to go explore that, not just a really elaborate way to have a storyline. But I mean, it's Dynasty Warriors, so I don't really care either way.
I'm kind of wondering how they're going to handle doing
recording. Action.
Loads the mission, the map, and whatnot. And in this case, if it's open world and the spawning part makes sense, but like I wonder how they themselves are going to handle transitioning between missions. Like, are you going to, like, after you beat a mission, you just go to a closer base, for all your equipment needs and stuff like that, and just immediately move into the next like battle, or or is it going to have loading and stuff? So
I doubt it'd have loading. I mean, like it probably will day-night cycles. You'll probably finish that battle, be like battle complete, and like a lot of open world games where you like take over like a base where there's a bunch of enemies, all of a sudden your guys show up and take it over. So if you're playing this guy's storyline, you won that, and in that storyline they did take that over, or they got defeated, I'm sure they'll compensate the same way other open world games do. So, and then I'm assuming if a level takes place at night or whatever, you're going to ride there, and it's either going to do one of two things. It's going to tell you to wait, or you're going to hit it, and it's going to go, this is going to go to nighttime, and it goes, and just goes there, and starts there. I mean, like, I think this game doesn't have a huge challenge in that aspect, just because games like Metal Gear Solid 5 and a lot of other games that are really story-driven have done open world just fine.
Yeah, I just worry because a lot of open world games, and every Grand Theft Auto for that, as an example, they always tell you where to go, but I always, because it doesn't feel like it being directed like very well, I end up just kind of wandering, and then I lose interest in the game. So I'm kind of hoping that doesn't happen.
Yes, I don't think Dynasty Warriors are that ambitious of games, so I don't think they're going to change it up too much. I literally just think the open world is going to be just going to supplement the whole feeling of taking over China. I don't think they're going to get too crazy into the open world aspect and all the different things you'll be able to do. It's probably just going to be like, so you can feel like you're riding into battle and leaving a battle and going to another battle and then going into villages, maybe doing side quests for them, like go kill this bandit or something like that.
Yeah.
But I doubt it's going to be, I don't think they're going to expand too hard on the open world nature. We're not going to be playing Witcher 3 here.
Well, and I hope so, because like I said, without like the game like essentially having focus to it to keep me going, I end up just wandering until I get bored.
Yeah,
so.
I couldn't imagine them doing that, just because it's Dynasty Warriors. It's going to be battle to battle to battle. Yeah. Any last thoughts on that?
That'll be interesting.
Excited? Excited?
I want to see them show off some footage, but yeah, excited.
Yeah.
Give us more costumes. I'm a cosmetic whore. In the last couple games, all you've done is just change the color palettes and the costumes.
Yeah.
It's very upsetting.
That's 80 characters, man.
They did it in other games.
Sure, I'm just saying. That's time consuming.
That's a lot to ask. Yeah. That's a shitload of characters. I agree. I'd love that, but
no, for sure.
No, I want to see different types of horses with different types of things you can put on those horses. I want to see fucking different villages that I can customize and build up myself. I want to see destructible battlefields with trees that topple. I want to see fucking 80 plus characters with 80 plus outfits apiece, different outfits. I want to see 500 weapons a person.
4 different Muso moves
per every
weapon.
Yeah, there you go. I was like, how can I make this bigger? I can dream. We can all dream. But I'm sure 9's going to be great. So, super excited for that. Segment of news. Mafia 3 has dropped new free DLC. With this DLC pack, you get racing, you get car customization, and you get new outfits. What do you guys think of them essentially expanding the content of the game for free?
We brought this up fairly recently, where companies are taking a very I don't want to say aggressive, but they're being way more open to the idea of giving out free DLC after their games are out now, and I'm glad to see more of this, because I know a lot of people who buy games kind of feel excluded that or even upset that they have to buy more content for the game, especially if they're playing with friends and their friends do. Then they feel forced to. So it's nice when the companies are able to give out stuff like that. It just keeps, as we've said before, that community together and stronger, I think. So.
Thoughts?
Sorry, random tangent thought there. Stuck in Dynasty Warriors. But
we can talk about that if you want.
Just imagine playing with your friends in open world.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. No, that sounds dope to me.
It sounds like it's something they needed to do, because from what I understand, I haven't actually played Mafia 3, but what you guys were saying, it gets kind of repetitive after a while.
Oh, absolutely.
Kind of boring. So this seems like they
might have infiltrating a base and killing guys. It's the game.
But
damn, you're fucking John Wick.
It sounds like they might have been listening to what other people have been saying, because I've heard this a lot, actually.
Yeah. It's the major complaint about the game.
So they're trying to breathe some fresh air, a little bit of fresh air into it, and they give you the DLC to kind of keep you happy and tied over a little bit. It's basically Pimp My Ride added to Mafia 3. And what's the time period it's set in? Like
60s.
60s. So you're not going to get crazy customizations. You're going to get older ones, because obviously the cars are going to be older, but I wouldn't expect too much craziness in terms
Probably
of customization.
coloring, interior colors, maybe some of those old 50s wings on the back of the car or something.
Flame decals painted on it, nothing too crazy fancy, but it might keep people entertained for a while, but I don't think it'll keep them entertained for very long.
Yeah. As a person who's played this game, I am happy that it is free content, but I do feel like this content was supposed to be in the game already. I feel like this should be a patch, like a day one patch. We're going to like, we didn't get this finished, so we're going to release this, but they just released it late. This game, the storyline's done really well, the voice acting's done really well, everything about it is fantastic aside from what you can do in the game. It's a empty world where you do the same mission over and over and over again. So them adding the racing, the customization, and the new outfits seems like something that should have already been in the game. So I'm not going to complain about it too much because they did deliver it for free. I'd be pissed off if they didn't release this for free. But I hope they continue doing this. We can talk about companies releasing free content and it being a trend, absolutely. But I feel like this is almost needed. I feel like this needed to be released for free. I feel like this was supposed to be in the game already, because when you play the game, it does feel vacant. And I don't think car racing and customization is going to completely save that, but it is a step in the right direction for a game that already had a lot of promise, but just kind of felt empty. So I'm happy about it, and I don't have to pay for it, so I'll probably go check it out. But I hope they keep continuing to release content to make the world feel more alive, because that is kind of disappointing how that game turned out.
Not to beat a dead horse, but it sounds kind of like No Man's Sky.
Yeah, a little bit. Thoughts?
I mean, not really. It's, like you said, it's free content, which is always welcome.
Yep.
And that's as far as my thoughts go on it. So.
Yeah. Well, especially as someone who hasn't played the game or whatever. I mean, like I said, I'm not bitching that's free content. It's great. But at the same time, I don't think this is like one of the situations where they're releasing content in a way of appreciation. I'm sure they are, but at the same time, this is something I feel like should have been in the game already, because when you do play the game, you really feel like there's something missing from it, especially in 2016 when sandbox open world games have been around for a while and offered way more years ago. The game's fun, so if you're into doing the same mission over and over again, pick it up. Free content. Third bit news.
So, Pixel Mage Games' early access title, Hero Song, is being pulled from Steam, and the studio is closing their doors after a year of development. They started as a passion project for a game they really wanted to make, but due to lack of sales, they can't afford to continue. How do you guys feel about essentially, a company that... I forgot to mention, I'm sorry. They're offering refunds to everybody. So everyone's getting refunded who bought the game. So, I mean, that's obviously good news. How do we feel about the state of essentially, early access and essentially the risks that come with it? So,
well, we always hear about the success stories, which is always great to hear about. It's awesome to hear that somebody's creating something that nobody else is creating, and there's a fan base excited to back it with their money, because you're essentially giving someone your money for free and hoping they deliver what you wanted. So it's quite a gamble. But in this case, you're seeing the real side of it, that sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes the premise wasn't as exciting for certain people as the company might have thought, and the few people who did support it thought. I think this is the worst case scenario though, because these guys essentially didn't work out for them. I was going to say failed, but that's kind of harsh. It didn't work out for them, and I'm glad they are able to not fuck over the people that supported them. Hopefully they'll be able to continue on a different project or start something else, or work with someone else on something else. I don't know, but I'm just glad that the people who supported this project are not getting fucked over, because it would really suck if they were trying to support a game that they really were excited for and then they lost their money when a company went under. That would be a lose-lose for everybody. So
I think a lot of games should be going about this early access process, just because it really helps them get a feel for what their customer base is going to be like, what they want of it, and how well the game is actually going to be received. Now, it sucks that this company is going under, but I think it's, you know, a good mark on them that they're actually giving refunds for it, even though they're going under.
Yeah, I mean, it does suck for them, obviously. No one, you know, it's, you know, especially we say it all the time, we don't want to see people fail, but the demand wasn't there, so it is good for the consumer that they're getting their money back, and the people who are essentially going to be losing their jobs because the studio's closing down, hopefully they find work and they are able to continue doing what they love anyways with another project in another company somewhere. So
yeah, I'm just glad that there was like no malicious style intent with this. Nobody got fucked over aside from the people who were working on the game, but you know, shit happens, so
that's the risk.
Yep.
It's also kind of hard too because every single year more and more games are added to Steam. I believe, I can't remember the exact number, but a significant portion of the Steam library was
it's like 50% or something
introduced in 2016 alone. And that just shows how easy it is for people to get in and start making games. So it is also going to make it a lot easier for people to fail because it is a very aggressive field. So,
any last words on that?
No.
Shitty all around, but at least the people supporting the game are getting their money back. On the opposite spectrum of the whole Kickstarter thing, Star Citizen, which is the most successful one out there,
Insanely.
The long-awaited fucking space sim that's gonna fucking take up a lot of my time, is moving engines. It was originally on the Cry engine. It's moving over to Amazon Lumberyard, which is Amazon's proprietary engine. The reason for this is it provides a strong framework for the project's long-term goals. These goals include a massive, persistent online sci-fi universe, tactical shooter, and single-player action game. None of this information on that is new, but apparently this new engine will better support that. This game's been in production for like 4 years now? 5 years?
Long time.
It's been in production for a while, so it's interesting that it's moving over. And yeah, hopefully that works out. What do you guys think about the move to engine? Do you think there's anything else to it? We've talked previously about Crytek having some issues. We've already talked about it a little bit, but do you guys think that has anything to do with it? And yeah, do you think it's going to benefit them?
Well, obviously they're making the switch because they feel the engine is going to better suit them, and they're going to know better than we are. I mean, that's just at the end of the day,
listen to me.
They're the developers. So as long as it makes the product the same or better, I mean, I have no complaint. As far as the whole Cry tech aspect of it, I mean, it could be part of it. They might be worried that the engine support might be disappearing soon or something because the company's having a hard time. But I honestly think it's more like their goals have become more and more ambitious as the Kickstarter, money just kept growing and growing and growing. It wasn't originally supposed to be all this. It was just supposed to be a space flight sim, and now it's like do everything overly detailed sim.
Do you think there'll be any kind of partnership between Amazon and them outside of just licensing the engine?
I don't know, because I know Amazon, when they did start getting into game stuff, they bought a game studio and then an engine and stuff like that. So I think that unless they're looking for partnership, I think they're just going to treat it as a product they're selling. So
yeah,
I bet you get something from Amazon Prime for it.
Probably.
Exclusive skin or exclusive ship or something.
Yeah, that's why I asked.
To me, this whole thing screams business, as in, let's get away from the bad business of Crytek. Let's not sully our name, but let's do it in a way that we don't burn our bridges with Crytek in case things smooth over with them. It's all that this screams to me. I've never heard of this Amazon Lumberyard engine before. I don't know if it has anything that's run on it. I've never seen anything run on it. So if they say it's good, that's great. But in the long run, it just sounds like smooth talk to me. Like, oh, well, we decided to switch over because this engine's better, but really it's because of the bad business that Crytek is doing.
This is actually something I thought about too. There's been a lot of talk over the last year or two that there's been some bad business done with Crytek, and then recently we got the guy on Reddit essentially begging for help, and then they just closed down a bunch of studios. This is all happening all at once. Five studios, and now Star Citizen is moving over to another engine. It to me, it does scream that they're distancing themselves from it. I don't jumping ship, but I like it said, Amazon Lumberyard, I guess, is similar to Crytek's engine, so it might be like a different version of it that they bought from them, which would make sense. It'd make the transfer a lot easier, but it seemed like the game was working just fine. Like last time I mean, they released that huge like 40-minute video of the game, and it's never looked this good. So it's really interesting that they would just jump engine all of a sudden.
I wonder if, and this is just my thought process, Amazon bought the Crytek engine because Crytek is secretly selling all its assets to go under.
It's possible.
And they just renamed it.
It's possible.
But how long have they had that engine?
Well, a while ago they were talking about Amazon like making a game studio. That's what I remember hearing. And I didn't even know they had an engine until this.
Yeah.
And I've never heard of Lumberyard, but I heard that they were going to be producing games, and I thought they were going to be like little flash games, phone games, maybe VR experiences for like, stuff like that. Yeah, so it is an architecture of CryEngine, which makes sense. How long has it been around?
Research time.
Looks like 2015, so it's pretty new.
So recent. So, I mean, yeah, this whole thing...
That's the only game mentioned on it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Star Citizen is the only game through this engine that was acquired in 2015. Crytek's been having problems for easily a year or two now. So yeah, the whole thing, I'm not even going to like make it sound like a conspiracy. It sounds like Crytek is having issues and it's not being talked about openly. Mm-hmm. Very much like THQ had problems for years, and then they went under.
Not paying their employees and not talking about that. So.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes, and I think Star Citizen's engine jump is a part of that. I think they are trying to get away from what potentially could be a sinking ship. Without saying, like, oh, fuck them, we don't trust them. They're going like, we're going to this engine that's also CryEngine.
It's polite business.
And it's going to help our online. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you 100% on that.
I think it's funny now seeing that engine is based off the Cry architecture, because at that point, like you said, it'll be an easy transition for them to move it over.
Well, when I first heard it, I'm like, dude, that sounds fucking rough. They put so much work into that game. It looks amazing. Jumping engine like that would be really tough unless it's something easy like Unreal. Mm-hmm. But hearing that it's like Amazon's thing, I'm like, wasn't that supposed to be like a Flash game thing? But I never heard of Lumberyard, so it makes sense that it's CryEngine. It'd be really funny if we heard that Crytek goes under and their engine just went to Amazon. I mean, call it now. Fucking might happen.
Well,
it's not even that crazy.
And this is actually potentially really good for Amazon anyways. Not that they need help making money, but if Star Citizen is their flagship game on their engine,
that's a huge
thing for
endorsement.
Them. I mean, imagine booting up Star Citizen and every game tells what engine, and it now says Amazon Lumberyard at the beginning. I mean,
which is fucked up because it wasn't built on there originally, and now they just kind of like are getting that advertising essentially for their engine. And like I said, for me, when I heard about this originally, I'm like, oh, they're gonna make like stupid little games. Star Citizen has that name on there. Now I'm gonna be like, whoa, fuck, what else can they make?
Yeah.
What else can they produce? So all in all, sounds like Star Citizen's just doing what they've been doing and hopping over somewhere else. Sounds like Amazon's gonna benefit from this, and it sounds like Crytek is in trouble. Like altogether.
Still.
I don't think they're getting out of this.
To quote our Dynasty Warriors guy, yeah.
Not that we get a shitload of views or a lot of subscribers. Someday we will. But Jesus Christ, people, when you're talking about something, just get to the fucking point. Ugh. Anyway, that's all I'm gonna say on that. Not gonna name any names, yeah. That's gonna do it for this episode of Tasty Tuesday on Tastily Gaming. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe if you enjoyed this episode. Make sure to check out our other episodes. We have so many episodes to check out. Check us out on Tumblr and Twitter, Tastily Gaming. Check us out on Twitch, Sleep Division. And my name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And I'm Chris.
And until the next episode, we have 2 reviews coming out this week, and then we have Plus Club at the end of the week. Have a good week, guys, and take it easy.
Cloak has been sold.